Hey everybody, it's Galmadex, and welcome back to some more Magic Green, and today we're playing another premiere draft of Tarkir Dragonstorm. Without further ado, let's get into the pack one, pick one, which is honestly a super weak pack here. None of the good removal at common, nothing particularly great at uncommon, not even a particularly strong rare. I guess we still just take the rare. This can be fine in like a Sultai Self-Mill deck, but not the most exciting card ever. There's okay uncommons for their archetypes, like the Boros uncommon or the Bewildering Blizzard there for a late game card draw. Or we could just start with a Tri-land. I honestly don't think it'd be crazy to start with a Tri-land out of that pack. It was relatively weak all around, but I'll try out this rare, Avenger of the Fallen. If we can fill that grave with a bunch of creatures, we can get a bunch of tokens when this attacks. Pick 2 looks a lot better. There's a Mardu Monument for great fixing. There's a Stormplane Attainment for solid common removal, but the Rally the Monastery is the better removal. There are plenty of creatures with power 4 or greater in the format to blow up, and you can often cast this for only 2 mana, which is excellent, and it's really, really flexible. You can also just get multiple monks out of it, or use it as a combat trick. I've won the game off this as a combat trick multiple times before. I really like Rally the Monastery quite a bit. Also, the Mythic is a little more interesting than our first rare, but I do think it's actually probably a little weaker overall. It's fine in a deck that's always going to mill it, but I don't think I've ever lost to that card. It actually hasn't played out to be that scary. Pick number 3, we got two really sick options. It looks like the Caustic Exhale for super cheap removal out of black. Love that. There's also the Salt Road Pack Beast for a great value play in white. Pretty easy to get this to be 4 mana or less, where it's a very good deal. That impacts the board at the same time to keep some pressure on your opponent. Yeah, these two options are both excellent, but I'm going to take the Caustic Exhale. I think it's a little less replaceable. Pick 4, another Rally the Monastery. All right, so we could be a Mardu deck leaning heavily on black and white so far. War Effort is also very strong in exactly Mardu and nothing else. You have to be a really, really token heavy, really go wide version with a bunch of the underdogs and stuff to make this great, but it can be super, super powerful. I think Rally the Monastery is pretty powerful as well, and it's a lot more flexible. Like, you can play this in controlling decks as well and still have a really good time with it, while it's still being a really excellent card in aggro. Pick number 5, there's Scoured Barrens here. There's also a Molten Exhale. Lots of removal here, just all removal all day. Caustic Exhale, Double Rally, Molten Exhale. Sure. Pick number 6, Mardu Devotee, helps fix all these cards together into the same deck. So that looks perfectly fine here. Not a super strong pack otherwise. The best cards are probably just like the card draw, like Focus the Mind. Pick number 7, Fortress Kinguard, is one of these cards that's decent for aggro decks in this format where you get multiple creatures off the one spell. Because one of the biggest weaknesses, one of the biggest issues for aggressive decks is that there is so much cheap, efficient removal people take nice and highly to clear out your early attackers. So being able to have two creatures off one spell, neither of which they really want to spend a 1-for-1 removal spell like a Molten Exile on, can put a lot of pressure on the slower decks. Pick number 8. Very mediocre pack. Coordinated Maneuvers a borderline playable. Snakeskin Veil's good if we go like Obzon aggro here. We've only got one red card, so that is possible off the splash to keep our scariest threats like Avenger of the Fallen around. Yeah, Snakeskin Veil, Coordinated Maneuver. Neither of these, I think, are going to end up in this deck, so they're both kind of speculative. I'm going to take the Snakeskin Veil. I think it's just insanely unlikely at this point that a coordinated maneuver ends up in this deck when I already have Caustic Exhale, Double Rally, and Molten Exhale. Pick 9. I've been really unimpressed by the Boltcaster. Maybe it's just Outrider here towards just like Orzhov tokeny stuff here, but it could also be Devotee for early fixing. I'm going to take the Outrider here, get another black spell. Windscarred Crack for sure out of this pack. Pick 11. Nightblade Brigade's a little more flexible, because we could still be just like Orzhov here, but Reigning Victor's going to be better if we're Mardu. This gets some beat down going, gets you an undestructible swing, and then it's the bigger, higher damage mobilizer. 3/3 plus a 1/1 instead of a 1/3 and a 1/1. Alright, we're almost definitely Mardu. with the Orzhov at the core of the deck. Some black-white stuff. Deck looks fine so far. Got a fine plan. Curve out with creatures and remove all our opponent's blockers till they die. Avenger of the Fallen definitely weaker, I think, in Mardu than it would be in one of the color trios, one of the clans that's better at milling itself. So Shock Brigade is a fine early attacker if we play red at the core. Rakshas is a fine top-end card, but it's kind of filler considering there's so many dragons we could manage to pick up. Kind of want to just go Mardu Monument for the fixing. Fixing that gets a big, wide attack in late game. Bunch of menacing, hasting 1/1s. I like the Mardu Monument. I mean, I like all the monuments, but Mardu Monument, no different. Pick 2, there's another Kinguard here, or the Strategic Betrayal, where you don't get to choose what you get rid of with the Betrayal, but it can kill a really big creature if your opponent just has one large blocker out. But I've got double rally for the big stuff. I think I'm on Kinguard. Pick number 3, Warden of the Grove. Good lord. Alright, well, we are locked in enough on Orzhov at the core. We could be on that pivot towards Abzan aggro. Still, Orzhov aggro splash green now instead. This is a strong enough reason for sure. This card is fantastic. If they don't kill it, then every creature you're playing comes with extra counters or another creature, which is absurd stuff. Pick 4, there's Abzan Monument to fix towards that. As I've said before, I do like all the monuments. If we stuck to Mardu, then Vanguard is the pick, or if we want to stick to Mardu, then Vanguard is the pick. I'm going to take the Abzan Monument. I will put this in my green pile and this in my red. Do that there. So I think it's black-white at the core, splash green, or black-white at the core, splash red, where the Wayfarer is not going to be good because it's an early green card. So we take Brigade, or a late-game green card like Earthcarver, or a Jungle Hollow for fixing. Could take Jungle Hollow here. Pick number 6, Sagu Pummeler. It's a 4-mana green spell. That's a tiny bit early for a splash, but 4-mana 4/4 is a good stat line when you're just curving out. Best card in this pack is Appraiser. That's kind of wildly late. We could also still be speculating towards like red with Bloodfell Caves here, but I'm definitely not splashing both colors, and Warden of the Grove is the strongest off-color thing I have by far. Yeah, I'm going to take the green spell here. Pick number 7. Basically wheel a Strategic Betrayal, although Kintree Nurture is fine. Oh, there's a Caustic Exhale too. Wow, yeah, I mean black is just the color to be. Pick number 8, another Abzan Monument or an Earthcarver to top off that curve. It's trying to become a little slower deck. I'm going to have tons of removal here, even just an Abzan. Kind of like going high on the curve here. But I really don't mind another Abzan Monument though either. You know what? Take another Monument. Beautiful fixing. Now we get the white-black duel as well. Blossoming Sands for a green-white duel. Got all these on-color cards to choose from. Yes, it's Nightblade Brigade. I'm not super high on the card, but you know, Night Watch even without blue might be better. 4-mana 3/3 there, but it's a little extra slow. 12, Sarkhan's Resolve is an early combat trick that can also blow up a dragon in the late game, so it's actually played a lot better than I thought it would. And we still wheel these super late Earth Carvers to top off our mana curve. It's just really beefy stuff. Aww. One of the strongest rares in the entire set, but it's a blue-red. That's really, really hard to fit in here. I've got one Mardu Monument towards red and one Windscarred Crag and nothing towards blue. Pivoting into 5-color green in the very last pack is a super bold choice, but we do also get Molten Exhale to defend ourselves if we do that. And honestly, the speculation is costing us almost nothing. It's costing us like a Kintree Nurturer. Maybe a Skyrider. I'm speculating here. I don't think we're going to make it. Too 5-color splashy in the last pack, but it's not impossible. And if there was any reason to do it, it would be one of the strongest mythics in the whole set. Pack 3, pick 2. Teamer Battlecry is also pretty good, but we need the blue really early for that. At this point, blue is going to be the kind of thing we have like 1 or 2 blue sources that we're only getting really late in the game. So I'd rather just take another Molten Exhale for cheap removal in our much slower deck. 3. This pack is complete booty. Pummeler's fine, Tawnyback is fine. That's almost it, no matter what you're playing here. The 2 worst Dragonstorms, 3 really bad combat tricky thing, aura-y things, and unplayable artifact creatures. It's just a really poop pack. Sandstep Citadel looks really important, but Saga Wildling also really, really, really important. Whew. There's Caustic Exhales and Molten Exhales in this pack, too. I'd love those as well, but get that green fixing, that 1 mana to turn it into any basic we need. It's also a dragon as well for all the Exhales that we're running, which is big. Where did you go? Where's my Sagu? Why are you way over there? Why are you hiding? There's double Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon to tutor into a Rennie. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon is the blue source. It is the blue source. It's definitely better to take Blossoming Sands, but it's funnier to take Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. It's the blue source, and we can crack it to pick up a Rennie when we're flooding. I'm going to take it. It's too funny to me. I did say double Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. We saw 2 copies. It's possible we don't wheel the other copy, but if we wheel the other copy, Magical Christmas Land is about to arrive. Forecast? There was a forecast from this pod, too? We didn't take any globes, though. I've got 6 lands in here, so this is 23 non-land cards. This is just a deck right now. It's pretty sick. Another Kinguard just jumping in the early game. Osseous Exhale's perfect. White's one of our deeper colors. Getting more early removal in that color is big here. Oh yeah, I can get the Sarkhan's Resolve for that because we don't want the combat tricky stuff really at all. So Kintree Nurturer is a potential early blocker as well. Pick 10. Dawnbringer gives us a 2-mana blocker and a dragon. Alright, the second Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon did not wheel, I think. That's tragic. So I only have 1 way to tutor out a Rennie. I think I'm on no blue sources, honestly. No islands. Because I have a Dismal Backwater of Thornwood Falls and a Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon already to play this Rennie. So we're Abzan splash the other 2, is what we are. I had to spend so many picks on fixing there that I highly doubt we're ever getting like a really aggressive curve out, but it's technically possible there, looking at this mana curve. Quite unlikely, though. Okay, goodbye, island. Non-creature cuts. Probably the Snakeskin Veil. I don't need Snakeskin Veil for a Rennie. It's already just impossible to interact with. It has protection from the 2 colors that can actually kill it. You're not going to do 10 damage with a red or a green removal spell. The only way to really stop it is a counter spell out of blue. So I'm going to cut the Snakeskin Veil. 2 more non-land cards need to get cut. It's just going to be random filler, somewhat aggressive creatures, I think, as the cuts. I don't mind a 2/4 Death Touch in this deck. Okay, Sandskitter Outrider looks like complete poop here. Devotee's not great either, but the fixing is kind of real. Let's keep the Death Touchers. Cut those. Mine's 16 lands right now, so I put 1 land back in, and that's my 40th card. Perfect. Okay. So, 8 white cards, 6 green, 4 black, 3 red, 1 blue. So white and green are the main 2 colors. Green needs to be just as prevalent as white because of the Saga Wildling. And we have 3 white monuments. That is really worth keeping track of. 3 ways to get white off of the monuments. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 white sources and 3 monuments and a wildling. I can cut one of those, go to 5 natural and 4 ways to tutor is still 9. And then green, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are the most important colors, so I'm going to go all the way up to 7 for it for Saga Wildling consistently. Black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 3 ways to tutor for it. The monuments are looking clutch here. Red, we have 1, 2, 3. And 2 ways to tutor, 1 monument, 1 wildling. But I only have 3 red spells, so that's fine. And then blue, we have no ways to tutor red. Or sorry, no ways to tutor blue, but we have 3 blue sources, unless I sack the Spirit Dragon, the Maelstrom for the Areni, in which case I need a Backwater or a Thornwood Falls on board, but I have 0 self-mill in this entire deck. So I'll never be milling a blue source. And if the game has gone on so long that I've cracked a Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon, that's on average going to happen in a game where I've seen like half the library and would have drawn one of these 2 as well by then. I think I could do it like that, but there is definitely an argument for running a single island also. But running a single island only gives me 1 more way to tutor blue. Like, it's not like I have 3 different Saga Wildlings and ramp spells that search for basics. I have 1 single card in the entire deck that would search for the island anyway. And if I have it in my opening hand, if I have it any time early, I will have to search for a different color because there's only 1 blue card. So it's going to be very unoften. It would not be searching for an island very often at all, even if I did put one in here. Yeah, I'm gonna run it like this. I don't know if the pivot to Areni was worth it, but we did kind of get there mana-wise, I think. So I guess we'll see how it plays out for us. Areni is so powerful, it would be like the only card that could be worth it. So we'll see how it manages to play out as we hop into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1. I don't know why I said that so slow. I'm going to hold up Exhale turn 2, in case they're on some kind of aggressive deck here. I've already got all the colors for my early plays, so I can get the tap land out of the way, and then I can hold up an Exhale or play a Kinguard, and I can just Wildling Roost-Seek into the red source on turn 3. Play to the board early and make sure we're well defended. They are Teamer, so... Ooh, hello, Areni? Well, we know we're doing at the top of our curve now. Unending Whisper. So they're very much a blue deck here. That is our one concern with casting Areni later. Obzon Monument's a good draw. Monument for the forest, and then Wildling for the mountain. And then I can play a 4-drop next turn, and I can crack the Monument the turn after that. It's just beautiful, beautiful mana here. Excellent hand. Sib-Sig Appraiser, some good value for our opponent, but not a particularly good blocker. The Kinguard's going to keep chipping in for some damage. Certainly not going to Caustic Exhale that card. Alright, happy to trade off half of the Kinguard. And then here's the Pummeler. Our opponent's also on 4 or 5 color because we see a teamer land and then also a swamp. So blue, red, green, and black. I don't want to crack Obzon Monument right now when they have all their mana up to blow up Sagu Pummeler at instant speed and make the Monument make a 1/1. That would be really bad for me if I dump all the mana to that and just get a 1/1. So I'm just going to play the Nightblade Brigade instead. Especially considering I drew the black source, so I can play that and still hold up the exhale. Bounce the Pummeler, you got it. I'll put it on top and then put it in grave for its ability, I think. That seems like decent synergy for me. They do exhale my Nightblade Brigade. Makes me sad. We draw the land for the Ireni. I do like that. We're on 7 out of 8 mana. Oof, the serpent on the token, so Obzon Monument is useless. I want to draw any land or any creature here. That's a very good creature. Not a bad draw at all. So if we don't draw the land, we can crack the Obzon Monument, and if we do, we play Ireni. Champion of Doosan. Please tap out. Yeah, they tapped out. If we hit the land, we know Ireni's not getting countered. Which is a big, big, big deal. I mean, they've got 1 blue mana, but that's not enough for any of the counter spells. Ah, didn't hit the land. Can Devotee towards it. And crack Obzon Monument. Oh boy. A tap land and a spell. A tap land and a good spell. It's awkward. They're at 11 here, and I'm going to have considerable power out. I'm going to keep the spell and ditch the land. I don't think we want a tap land at all, because we want it to be like, if I'm drawing a land on a turn, I want to be just immediately casting Ireni. Four, 2 there, 3, 3 there. I've got a 4, 4, and 1, 2 left. I could exhale this champion. I kind of like that when I'm drawing into Rally the Monastery here. For like a 2-turn lethal. Actually just take the trade, get their board clear. Because I can do +2/+2 to 2 creatures next turn instead. This way they have no creature on board to use the Champion's Renew ability on. To give anybody a +1/+1 counter. Kish the Trawlers. Okay, that gets a removal spell back. Caustic Exhale here. Actually could get the bounce spell and kill our token too. But they do choose the Caustic Exhale. Teamer Devotee holding up the Caustic Exhale. Nothing we can kill with Rally the Monastery, so we send in the team. We cannot kill them this turn if they just double block. But if they let any 2 creatures in, we can kill them. Okay. I mean, this just resolves as it is right now. They try to Caustic Exhale. We can rally to ruin it. They tried to exile, so they're dead. Love to see it. Areni is unnecessary. And we are 1-0 heading into game number 2. Here we are on the play for game number 2. Areni is never what you want in the opener because it's an 8 mana spell. It's not relevant for like 10 turns minimum. But we do have Pummeler on 4. I'm justifying this hand way too much. This is almost definitely a mulligan. Doing nothing till turn 4. But hey, alright. I will just draw like an absolute champion every time. Don't worry about it. I got it covered. Be very happy to get rid of a... Oh yeah, very, very happy to get that out of the way. That will be relevant later, because we are going to be casting an 8-drop in 1,000 turns. They have a way to put a +1/+1 counter on this Tomb Guard. They are in a very nice position, because awkwardly our removal spell we've drawn is the only removal spell we have that can't kill that. Okay, Host puts the counters on itself, thankfully. And then there's the Caustic Exhale, so I can just kill both here and get damage in. Seems super fine by me. Inspirited Vanguard. Alright, Allied. We need to be able to kill that too. Okay. They need their own interaction to attack in here, at least. If I hold off. If I just keep a 4/4 back, they can attack in and make this 6 toughness. But if they do that, I don't care as much, right? Because then it's just a single creature still. I really only care if it keeps enduring. I think we keep the pressure on them. We do need to draw a red or blue source within the next couple turns to be able to cast this Areni, which is awkward. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon can only solve one of those 2 colors. Oh god, a flyer. I really need to hit a blue or a red. Hey, look who it is. As long as they tap out of a counter spell next turn, we should be fine. But if they can counter Areni, they win. Basically, if they counter Areni, they win, and if they don't, then we win. That's where we're at now. And they've got 1,000,000 mana at this point. They are never going to tap out of the counterspell in the future by now. 8 toughness. Alright, we're gonna get got hard by a combat tricky thing. I think Pummeler is the one that we want in the grave the most, so we definitely block with Pummeler. If they have instant speed removal here, triple block is best. There are 1 or 2 combat tricks where double blocking is better. There's like Death Touch Indestructible they could have. But I think it's more likely instant speed removal where the triple block is better. There are more cards that make triple blocking better than double blocking. Okay, and there's just nothing. Cool. They only have 1 blue source, so it is mildly possible for them to tap out of the counterspell if they do still have one. Highly unlikely, though, considering they have 7 lands. I don't know. I'm gonna hold off for a turn. Watch them play the discard spell. Dragon Sniper, yeah. So that was the draw that turn. Alright, if they had the counterspell last turn, they have it this turn still. They get me either way. I don't have another dragon in here, do I? Oh, I do. I have Saga Wildling and Dawnbreaker I can pick up. So I can bait out a counterspell on one of those. Because I need 8 plus 4. I need 12 mana to get around Dispelling Exhale, which is not happening. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I can instead crack Maelstrom and cast the good dragon here to have the double block for Death Gorger and then still play Rennie the turn after this. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is gone. Still have 8. I have blue, I have red. Yeah. We go for the counterspell bait. And then we Rennie next turn. That plays even better, because now I can rally as well. Although, this is a sad rally. Because it's rally for the tokens, because they don't have a creature to kill with it. They're too small. Okay, if they had the counterspell, they did not go for the counter unless we pay 2. Or counter unless we pay 4. And I did not have 4 up, so... Let's see. I don't think they have the counterspell. Something else here. I think they would have countered Wildling. They tapped out of blue. Let's go. Draw 3, discard 1. Put some counters on the board. Get a 4/2. Counters on the board is rough. Because they make something way too thick to a Rennie. Okay, they go for the card draw. Then they're dead. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they're not dead. They go to 3. And then they need a blue bounce spell to gain any life on the crackback, because I have a protection from black blocker. They got a Snakeskin Veil, that's pretty good here. Okay, pretty gross. Because the Dragon Sniper is big enough for Rennie. Rennie does not have trample or protection from green. So having a Death Toucher and then one of the damaging green removal spells, that is like the one way green could deal with a Rennie. So specifically Snakeskin Veil plus Death Touch Reach. Dragon Sniper is the literal only card that would have worked there. But Saga Wildling can still get us there, because they only have 1 flying blocker, and they can't take 2 hits from Saga Wildling. And they can't gain life on the crackback because Rennie has pro black. Really good combination of spells from our opponent, though. Sniper plus Veil. The full 3-card combo, oops, I win, would be Sniper, Snakeskin Veil plus green way to shoot a Rennie. It feels a little too bold for my tastes to try to attack with a Rennie and Wildling, because there are a million removal spells they can have to kill Wildling, in which case they kill Wildling and block a Rennie with the Dragon Sniper, like if they have a Caustic Exhale here, or a Dragon's Prey. So yeah, really happy I didn't attack with a Rennie, or we'd have lost the game on the spot. Adorned Crocodile, sure. Well, we would have won if we didn't play around counterspells at all, but I felt it was pretty safe too. But now that we've seen specific combinations of cards they could have had against a Rennie that would have been really bad, it might have not been that safe. Alright, they have one turn to find a completely different way to deal with a Rennie. It could still be the green target creature deals damage thing, because they did have a second Death Toucher. Yeah, I was still living in fear that whole time, because the multiple Death Touchers meant any of the green ways to shoot a creature equal to your creature's power would have done it. Luckily, they did not have that, so playing safe against the counterspells did not come back to bite us as badly as it looked like it could. And we're 2-0 heading into Game 3. Here we are on the draw for game number 3. Obzon Monument into the Caustic Exhale mana is great. Plus I have Molten Exhale no matter what, just playing the tapped red source turn 1. We've got the Exhale turn 2. We are definitely the slower deck here, so I don't mind just immediately killing even a Devotee. Although Exhale can kill bigger stuff, so might still Obzon Monument first. Or Molten Exhale can kill bigger stuff than Caustic Exhale is what I'm trying to say. So I will Obzon Monument first. If we draw one of our dragons, we actually have 3 in the deck, then we can double Exhale in the same turn. Oh my god. Zergo's Vanguard, you are a dead meat. I do not want you around. Speaking of dead meat, haven't made them play any removal yet, so I'm sure if we play Warden, it's just going to die. We can get a 1/1 Goblin every turn. That's kind of annoying. Makes us really want blockers down. So I guess it's a Sagu Pummeler into Avenger plus Molten Exhale. Or Warden plus Molten Exhale, really either of these. A creature plus an Exhale next turn. Just got Devotee. Send them the team, and they're gonna, what, Caustic Exhale the Pummeler? I think it's better to block the 1/1 than the 2/2 then, because we still kill the 1/1 through a Caustic Exhale. It could be the +3/+0 trick, in which case it's technically better to block Devotee. An Osseous Exhale kills either. Ay. Well, they're down to 1 card in hand, so their chances of killing Warden are lower, and by playing Warden first, if they don't kill it, our other stuff comes with even more counters and creatures and does crazy stuff. If they do kill it, it is more fuel for Avenger of the Fallen, so there's that. There's so much removal in this format. By Warden, but they're out of cards. They're just on 1/1s and a 2/2 now, playing off the top. Can tutor out our big dragon for later. And let Monument just make me a 4/4, sadly, because I need a wide board instead of a single 7/7, so I can get another 7/7. Alright, they top deck a land. Really, really good for me. Board is basically already stable, and we can make it even farther so very quickly. I can't play Avenger and crack Obzon Monument. That's a little sad, but fine, I'll wait a turn on that then. Reigning Victor. gain a little bit of life here for free. Another monument? Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Because now I can pummeler one of my creatures into super high toughness. 6 toughness. And then get 2 6/6s next turn. Another Reigning Victor, more life gain. We're dead to a few spells here. Anything that gives +1/+1 for each creature they control. There's a combat trick that does that. And then also... This gives vigilance to our attackers, doesn't it? That is sick here. We're also dead to the thing that gives the whole board +1/+0. Not like literally dead, but those are the cards we're the most scared of by a lot. Oh, this doesn't give vigilance. It just has vigilance. All right, well, that's not quite what I wanted it to be. Still good here. I can keep attacking with that without worrying about my blocks. This is some classic Obzon stuff here. I may be the 5-color or any soup pile, but the way that I'm stabilizing and locking down the board here is like super Obzon of just the big booties making bigger and bigger blockers over time. It's very nice. I think I'm actually going Mardu Monument this time for quantity of blockers. Oh, they did draw the Death Toucher, so we just go Death Touch for Death Touch. It's a little tragic. I should have stopped attacking with that. Certainly a punt there, making that attack. They got enough creatures for the swing now? No. Hey, the blue source, so they lose. We did the thing. I'm happy with this Maelstrom the Spirit Dragon. If it wins me like one game of Magic, I'm like, alright, it earned the slot. I'd trade into Intimidator here. I don't mind the trade. So they have a less wide board. They're less likely to randomly oops lethal me. Hello. Goodbye. Supposed to play the land first, but you know how it is. I'm excited. 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So those and a victor. Yay! Ireni! Super incredible, unbeatable, mythic, rare bombs continue to be unbeatable. We are 3-0 heading into game number 4. All right, here we are on the play for game 4. I got some early removal. I don't have the black source for this Avenger, but we're just going to kill some stuff and wait to see what happens. Kind of what the deck has become about once we pivoted towards Ireni. Kill stuff and just wait and see if we can get Ireni or not. Fleeting Effigy, alright. This is gonna be aggro. They're gonna be able to flurry every single turn they want to flurry. Blue Source is cool, but I'm just gonna have Exhale up here and then start playing tap lands, because I have nothing for 3 mana anyway. Okay, cool. No damage this turn. Just a couple 1-power creatures. Hey, Mardu Monument. Finds my black source. Not gonna Osseous Exhale a 1-2 just yet anyway. Alright, now I've got all 5 colors already. I might have to rally the Monastery for the 1/1s. Because in theory, if I rally... Oh, Jesus. If I rally and then... Osseous Exhale on a later turn, those 1/1s are 2/2 blockers, and I can kill the Kinguard and its 1/1 without losing a creature. So we actually rally right now. I think I'm going to hardcast Wildling as well later. So this is going to be... Rally at full cost. Then Avenger, hold up Osseous Exhale. Then Saga Wildling on a later turn for more life. Down to 10. But now I block 2 creatures. I block 3 creatures. I kill one of them. I gain 2 off of Exhale. I gain another 3 next turn. This is a plan. Fleeting Effigy's back. It is really suspicious to put this Prowess Monk in front of the Kinguard. I think we want to have them have to be the first one to try to play a combat trick. So I do it like this, and then when they combat trick, I reverse exhale them and kill the effigy. Perfect. Wonderful stuff. Does this include tokens? Non-token creatures enter. Okay, no it doesn't. They're down to a single 1/2. I don't even need to play the Wildling right now then. I'm at 12. I take 1 damage from that thing. Dragonback Lancer. Got the Wildling to block that. Make it big enough to block and survive. I think I do. Or we're just getting another 1/1 on blocks. Dalkovin Encampment would have been scary earlier, but we've gained like 5 extra life this game. That gives them 2 1/1s attacking if they dump much mana into that. The 1/1s get sacked in the end step. Pack Beast is pretty good. Draw a card plus get the 4/3 on board. There's Obzon Monument. That's much better than Mardu Monument right now, I think. So Pack Beast is also quite good here because of its ability to just trade 1-for-1 into Avenger of the Fallen and get me to stop attacking. I am at 16, so I can attack with Wildling instead still. It's not bad, I think. This may be greedy, but I kind of want to wait on Obzon Monument until Warden's at 5/5. I think they're pretty unlikely to kill Warden and Wildling and Avenger all in one turn, so even if they do end up killing the Warden of the Grove anyway, I can just get the 4/4 next turn still. Do go ahead and poke me. Play a 3/1. There's Molten Exhale for their flyer. Could also exile their Pack Beast and get really aggressive on this attack. This is also an instant, so I can play it around a combat trick or something from our opponent. There's that too. I'm probably just holding it here, because I have the dragon on board to make it an instant. I'm glad I'm taking like the extra moment to think through things. Because God, has it been discussing against our opponent's tricks twice in a row. Oh no. Alright, the trick into the haste flyer is scary, but they're dead on board. Are they not? 4, 6, 7. They have 2 blockers. Block, block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They just made themselves dead on board. Alright. I'll just attack back. Cool. I mean, they were very close to dead on board, even if they held these back anyway. There's the concession from our opponent. That is, what, like 4-0 now? Did we go undefeated all the way into at least a positive win rate? At least a break-even run on gems? Sure did. 4-0, we take those, heading into game number 5. All right, here we are on the play for game 5. Love the hand. It needs a green source pretty bad, but that's what the Martyr Devotee scrying is for. Green deck from our opponent, Roost seeking into their next color of mana, and it finds a swamp. Caustic Exhale is our draw. Technically do get to Devotee and still hold that up, thanks to having a dragon in my hand. Okay, I like both of these cards a lot. But I'm gonna have to play Obzon Monument the second I draw it, I think, so I don't think I get to draw both. But just in case, I'll keep the Molten Exhale still up top. I guess I've got enough lands here that, like, if they just play a good card for me to Caustic Exhale, then I could spend the turn doing that instead of Obzon Monumenting. Well, I guess I'll just kill it with Devotee already. Or not Devotee, but with Wildling already. I don't know, this is maybe a little greedy, but I'm gonna hold off on Monument, so that I can draw Exhale as well. Sig Appraiser. Very good value play. It's 2 in a row for our opponent. Creature plus land, creature plus spell. Draw another card. So they're grinding out some really good value over time here. Honestly, on this board, I might need to just rally into 2/1/1s. Because I certainly don't want to spend removal on those two. I can just trade Devotee into Appraiser. And then I'm dealing with a single 1/1. Or I can take 2 for a little bit. I'm at 20 still. I've got more life gain in hand with Sagu Wildling. Keru Goldkeeper. I wish I could exile that, so it can't renew. But I can't. I think all of the removal in our whole deck is destroy and not exile. But I can blow up whatever they put the counters onto, because there's only 2 counters, right? Yeah. See if I can draw removal with Sagu Wildling before I play Warden of the Grove. Get that to be more likely to stick around. Roiling Dragonstorm. That is an excellent card. Draw 2, discard 1, and they can do it all over again once they play a dragon. Like their own Saga Wildling or something. That's really frustrating. The Thoughtseize in this format is like really good against these 4 or 5 color decks that we're playing right now. Pretty bad against the Mardu aggro. So it's absolutely main deckable in this format because like 4 out of the 5, like 80% of the games you play, it's going to be pretty decent. But it can be a pretty awful draw when you do get the Mardu matchup. Okay, we just start cracking Obzon monuments here. That is a decent amount of pressure on our opponent. Thank you, Mardu Devotee. Very cool. I almost messed up there by not being able to actually do that. But Mardu Devotee helped me fix the mana. Full-time Monument. That's 2/2/2s off 1 card. Yeah, that's pretty good. Plus the land, of course. Traveling Botanist. Can Molten exhale the Botanist and still use Abzon Monument this turn? They could have Caustic Exhale in their hand. That can't quite counter this. If they have their own... If they have like a Snakeskin Veil again, that's gonna suck, but they did not. This is a combat trick, so I'll hold it up here. Play the Monument post-combat. The 3/3 Abzon Monument army has arrived. There's a Rennie. If I top deck a blue source, we're there. We have 3 in the deck. 2 are tapped, though. Let's see what the plan is from our opponent here. They can't crack the monument. That's a sorcery. Trade chump. This is lethal on board, but they have a million open mana and they could have made 2 more 2/2 blockers. So if they didn't have a trick here, they would not have just passed. Unless they just don't know how Sultai Monument works. That's possible. But very unlikely. Ew. That's actually insane here. I guess I just kill these 2 blockers, probably. Just clear the path. Could have put them to 3 and lost one of those 2 3/3s. Or put them to 5 and just kill the 3/2. But I think that was probably the best we could do there. Clear as much of the board as possible. If they end up having to just crack Monument, those are not particularly good blocks against the 3/3s. Oh, Dragonologist is great. 3 mana, 1/3 plus, draw one of the cheap removal spells out of the top 6 or a big dragon. They failed to find no instant sorceries or dragons. That's pretty lucky. So just a 1/3. Dragon Sniper is a much more relevant blocker. Play a tap land. Riling Dawnbreaker. Got the 2 mana up for the counter unless we pay 2. But if they have that and a dragon in their hand, then we can't afford to pay for it. Go, team, go. Saga Wildling trades into Dragon Sniper, one of the 3/3s. I guess both the 3/3s get through on board. One of them probably dies to like a Caustic Exhale or something here. Oh, nope. Just give the Sniper Indestructible. Sure, they're down to 2. Let's go. Saga Wildling, that life gain is huge. Yeah, Saga Wildling was an incredible draw. Gain 3 plus draw 2, discard 1. Yeah, they are very safe now. Until I hit blue. That is not a relevant land in the slightest. So we send in the 3/3s on the ground. That's all we got here. I think Dawnbreaker's ability is good enough that I should not be attacking with it in the sky. They still have another instant, like a Caustic Exhale or something. Yeah, Roiling Dragonstorm Loops is gonna get us here if we can't find blue. Yeah, they had a Caustic Exhale as well. They have to lose something pretty relevant here, though. If they want to stop this damage this turn. If I were them, I might just take it. Because you've got a Sultai Monument to crack over there for 2 2/2s on the ground to block that in the future. They are going to chump it. That's fair as well. That's fair as well. But yeah, I don't think I would be trading with Sniper or Wildling yet. 2 2/2s on the ground. Tap land. They got the counterspell, they got the counterspell. They got so much blue they'll never be tapped out of it. At least I get to clear out both the 2/2s with this 4/3. I think I attack with Dawnbreaker as well, trying to kill Dragon Sniper. No, if Areni resolves, it kills it anyway. The only point of killing Dragon Sniper would be in case they have a Snakeskin Veil to save it again. Like the first opponent, or whichever opponent ended up having that. Yeah, if they don't counter Areni, then without like also a Snakeskin Veil for hexproof, Areni's just gonna kill the Dragon Sniper anyway, off of just the enter effect. Buff the Dragon Sniper. Land for turn. Millions of mana up if they have any counterspell in the set. So I'll block Saga Wildling and see if I can get them to tap out of a little mana here. I don't hate the Dawnbreaker for sniper trade. Because even if Areni resolves, it takes 2 turns to kill them regardless. I hit for 5 initially. And this way we might be able to get more information on their hand, get them casting another spell here. Yes. Oh my god, Fresh Start could have been used on Areni. Got out of that, but if they've got the counter, they've got the counter unless I pay 4. I will never have the mana for it. One, two, three, 5, 10. I should have put like I should have put 7 on Dragon Sniper and 3 on Saga Wildling. Because if they have the +3/+3 trick, then still doomed. They could have Piercing Exhale. One of their creatures at instant speed does damage to another, and then Dragon Sniper kills Areni. And it's a Mardu Devotee. Riverwalk Technique. Bounce something and put it back on top is all they had left. Oh, that block played so well for me. I mean, Areni's so insane off of just the enter ability alone that we still likely would have won the game, right? If I didn't go for the block on Dragon Sniper, then I play Areni and they fresh start Areni. I still blow up their whole board, and then I attack with like a 1/2 and a 3/4. They bounce the 3/4 back to the top. They take 1. They get more time. They get more time if I didn't make them fresh start the Dawnbreaker there. They get a draw step or 2 to try to get out of it. All right. Another crazy game of Magic. Crazy good stuff from one of the strongest mythics in the whole formats. And we're 5-0. We just did a full undefeated run all the way into the money. No matter what happens from here, we are leaving the event with more gems than we paid to enter. Keeping all these cards for free. Feels pretty good. All right, here we are on the play for game number 6. This is a really nice opening hand. This hand's very reminiscent of where we started the draft. Of like, oh, I'm going to be like Orzhov aggro, splashing into Mardu. We're chilling. Let's play to the board, get blockers down, and then Monument later. Monument whatever turn I don't have a land drop for. Traveling Botanist, you are gone. Say goodbye. Your abilities are too good. Too strong. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon's only relevant when you have the dragon to cast or the mana to sacrifice it. So I'm playing the colored sources first, obviously. Get the green out there. Sibsig Appraiser is not a fun card to spend removal on, so I'm not going to. Instead, just poke for 1, hold up a 1/1. Okay, trade into a 1/2 instead of a 1/1, fair enough. Monument this turn. Okay, matters much here. I don't mind more green. More green or more white there. Maybe it's right to take the white, because then we can crack the monument and play an Osseous Exhale in the same turn. Sultai opponent is ramping up, claiming some territory. Forest to the board tapped, Forest to the hand, really nice 2-for-1 piece of ramp. And a Saga Wildling for fixing, so they are really going up to some big late game. Red Source? I might be getting reverse Ureni'd this game, and I will not be happy, but we'll see. Come on, land off the top. I want to carve some earth before I make a monument token, because I don't really want to 1-1 off of my 4 mana Abzan monument. There's even more mana off of the Einok Wayfarer. Okay, they mill a Mammoth Bellow. So the red splash, they're just like 4 or 5 color in general. This doesn't necessarily mean they're a deck like ours, which is like literally just, you know, Sultai at the core, but also a Rennie. It's not like that. Okay, if I don't hit the land, I actually still have plays now that they played a Gigantic Host. So... it does kind of suck that it moves its counters around, but still kind of important to kill the 4/4. Oh, I don't have a red source. I lied. So I have to Osseous Exhale that, or rally it. I don't want to rally it. Now I really wish I got another white source because we drew another great white spell. I'm gonna let the damage... well, no, we try to kill it pre-damage. I was gonna try to get fancy there and be like, let the damage resolve and then try to exhale it, but like, no, just stop the damage. What are you being fancy about here? Alright, now Wayfarer is a 3/3. No, not 2 big creatures off 1 spell. That's my job. Please make a 7/7. Dang it. They made 2 creatures. That is not good. Let's kill a 3/3. Okay. Not a bad draw. Death Touching blocker. Still really been wanting lands here, though. So it's not a good draw either. It's a pretty good mill. No, I hate being low on removal, but I might need to rally the Earth Carver. I've got my own coming up and I'm still at 21. I'm going to hold off. The thing is, I can't do this during their turn. So it goes back to being 4 mana. That's the part that makes me feel like I maybe should just do it immediately. It does make their Mammoth Bellow recast more expensive. Ramping again instead of playing the dragon. We're going to get blown out by something insanely expensive. They got to double Cultivate. Cultivate's obviously pretty incredible, so that is not good for me. Where are the lands, though? I haven't drawn a land in way too many turns. Alright, well, here's my blocker for 4/4s. We're basically on 21 lands in this deck, because we're on 17 plus 3 monuments plus Saga Wildling for Roost Seek. Okay, Codas is not good. Because I have nothing in my whole deck to exile it, so if they manage to put +1/+1 counters and stuff on it, to where it gets through, it is going to exile my deck and cast it against me. It's not a super great card, because you do need to put a lot of work into it to get it to not just be walled off by a single 3/3. You have to put counters on it, buff it up in some way or the other. But their board is so big otherwise, and I'm just so unable of casting spells. Unable to cast spells right now that I'm under an astronomical amount of pressure. Hit the 3rd green instead of 2nd white. Monumenting into green really catching up to me here. So they just get the Synchronized Charge again and make this a 4/3. Vigilance Trample indestructible. Where I have to chump it or let them get a bunch of cards. Anything I play here, they have a really good counterplay to, without even mentioning the fact that they have other cards in hand. I guess if they have no removal in their hand, playing a single 7/7 is fine. But then they synchronize charge to go wide. I block one creature well and take like 8, go to 2 life. Because the trample. Yeah, no, I think they just got us here. I don't see anything that gets even close to stable. Alright, we lose if they have removal, but we also lose if they just synchronize charge onto these two. And I block like that one. Block 1 trample damage, take 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. Pretty rough draws on that one. Partially self-imposed. Not choosing white on the Obzon Monument played out really poorly for us, but just had a much better hand than us overall. So we are 5-1, heading into game 7. Alright, here we are on the play for game number 7. This Obzon Monument going a really long way, obviously picking white this game. Jungle Hollow for green-black from our opponent so far. We draw another white spell. Give me the plains, please. Jund, green, black, and red from our opponent. So likely another 4-5 color splashy pile. Got a couple 4 toughness cards to play later, so we're hoping to wait to crack Monument till we played these. Dragonstorm Globe, yep. Every color but white so far in the globe gives them whites. Speaking of getting white mana, Mardu Devotee lets us filter our other lands into being white to cast more of these spells. I think Rally the Monastery is strong enough to draw here, even though I'm relatively desperate for green sources. The Seed Prowler. Yeah, this is just full-on 5-color good stuff. Millisonic Shrieker out of Mardu there. Jagenheim is really nice. Luckily our board is super wide, so it just like kills a 2/2 here. But they get to recast it again later as well. If their hand is just a bunch of 1/4/1 removal, we can still get a lot of chip damage here. Especially if we ever find the green source for Pummeler and a Monument crack. No, you play a forest. I'm supposed to play a forest. That's a cool one, though. This Outlaws of Thunder Junction Forest. Look at all the cactuses. Oh my god. Alright. Our opponent is just gonna card quality us out here as their plan, it looks like. Yeah, so Sonic Shrieker make us discard this rally is gonna be disgusting because they gain 2 when they do it as well. But Lion Weight is an incredible 2-for-1 removal, plus pick up your best card engraved. Now Sonic Shrieker. I think Sonic Shrieker is the best uncommon in the whole set by win rate. It's better than most rares and mythics and stuff too. Luckily they didn't make us discard this Rally the Monastery, so we've still got big plays this turn if they don't have Snakeskin Veil. They do have the Dispelling Exile, so we know they don't have Snakeskin Veil now, so... although I could try to do the +2/+2 here instead to get more damage in and kill Shrieker. 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. I think it's just safest to just kill it. They are down to 7. It's anybody's game here, though. They have perfect mana. They've drawn a bunch of extra cards. All it takes is one more, like, premium uncommon for them to stabilize here, let alone a potential bomb rare. Maelstrom of the Spirit Dragon. No, not the reverse, Ireni! I guess that's deserved. But, yep. We've cast a lot of Irenis. We know exactly how unbeatable that card is. Man, they drew it naturally. We still could have won if they just didn't draw Ireni. If they had to crack Maelstrom, it would have been too late. They would have cracked for it this turn and died to everything I already had on board. Man, that's rough. Alright. Fair enough, though. Lots of our wins have been our own Irenis. That's comedy, though. Tursa! This is like as explosive as my 5-color decks. The deck I'm playing right now is like as explosive as bomby as my 5-color decks have managed to be in the last like 5 times I've drafted them. And it just has one really good mythic and a couple great rares. This feels potentially bombier. I could be wrong though. We've only seen one rare in the Mythic. It's just that the uncommon is so good it plays at a rare power level, the Sonic Shrieker. So our Ireni is Ireni. Our Tursa is our Avenger of the Fallen. And our Sonic Shrieker is our green rare. We're dead no matter what. Yeah, I mean, Ireni just kills me. Alright. 5-2, heading into game number 8. All right, here we are for game number 8. We went 5-0 into 5-2, so it'd be really sad to go 5-0 into 5-3. Still would be a really solid record. Still leaving the event with more gems than we paid to enter and a very positive win rate, but I'm going to try my best here to see if we can't get another win or two here, maybe even get a trophy. This hand was a tiny bit risky because we had one Caustic Exhale that wasn't castable, but the mana for everything else. We did draw into an additional Caustic Exhale, which is a pretty bad draw, and the Caustic Exhales are looking pretty important here considering we're against Boros aggro. They've got the Quarry Mountain Monastery as well for huge late game card draw. This is a game we are going to need to probably stabilize and cast an Ireni in the late game to have a chance. We're going to need huge explosive late game plays, so I need that black source quick here. We got to draw some of our fixing, but all of our fixing can get there. Any lands are good draws because of the Earth Carver. Any lands or our pieces of fixing. Again, 3 monuments and a wildling and 13 more lands left in the deck. So that's 17 out of our next 30 cards are still mana sources, so more than half the cards left in the deck. We need to find them fast, because we need to either get this Earth Carver out for a wide board or we need to get to the Exhales immediately. This board is getting out of hand quickly. Double Kinguard has done a great job at slowing them down, though, because this board is so wide, and then Bearer of Glory activations are going to be nasty. Okay, now any land in the deck, and we're playing the Earth Carver, any mana source, and I'm somewhat happy. So they get 5 mana, +1/+1, everybody. I'd have to block Bearer of Glory with the whole board if I want to kill it through a 3/2 first strike. Because if I block it with both the kin guards and a 1/1, they first strike away a kin guard and a 1/1, then it takes 1 damage back when it has 2 toughness. That's really awkward. Okay. This is quite a bit of damage. Okay. They are just going to use Bearer. So force them into that. Why did I completely forget about Bearer's ability there? That was not the best block we could make, but it did force them to use Bearer to tap out of anything else, so it wasn't horrific. No, it was pretty bad. Somehow I brain farted and completely forgot about the card I was literally talking about right then. I hate human monkey brains. We could have blocked a bit better. Not too much better, though, honestly. I guess just let the damage in is the best block there. It might not matter. If we never draw Black Source, we would have died no matter how we play. Especially if we don't make it to 6 mana. Yep, there's the Exile for the Warden. Comical. Arena's like, hey, you asked for this, right? Yeah, but I just die if you give me it tapped. Yep. Oh, that's funny. Alright, well, probably punted that one away. I just completely brain farted, but it is what it is. If I hadn't brain farted, I would still very likely lose there, actually, because the better block there was just letting a bunch of it in to try to keep the creatures around to be able to make a good block in the future. Bearer of Glory would have still been around. I mean, maybe it was quadruple block Bearer of Glory. It probably was quadruple block Bearer of Glory and then shoot the Vanguard. But if they already had frontline rush, I think we lose no matter what. Because if I go for quadruple block on the Bearer of Glory, they know it's going to die even if they activate it, and I'd have no blocks declared on the Vanguard, so they would be like, okay, well, there's no need to activate, we'll just let this through, and then when they let it through, then I try to kill Vanguard, and when I try to kill Vanguard, in response, they frontline rush and save Vanguard, and I very much lose that game if they already had frontline rush in hand. So unless I quad blocked Bearer of Glory and they still activated it just for a little bit of extra damage, we would have super lost to frontline rush. So maybe the blocks were just don't block and only shoot the Vanguard, but if I don't block and only shoot the Vanguard, I take a bunch more damage than I already took there, and they still have the frontline rush trick for later, the Bearer of Glory to buff the whole board later. It feels really unlikely we survived long enough to get this backwater untapped, but there was definitely somewhere it could have been slightly more likely, and if we did survive that long, there's a teeny tiny chance off of having access to these exhales, but the board's so wide, I don't know. It's probably a loss. The first 2 games were definite losses. Just hurts to 5-0 into 5-3 like that. I think this deck is solid. I'm really happy I stayed as open as I did there. We started in black-white looking like we were heading towards Mardu because of the Molten Exhales, but we saw some really great green stuff. We got the Warden of the Grove being the biggest stuff, but these Obzon Monuments going really late to help our black-white pair well with our green. And we picked some fixing towards Mardu and some fixing towards Obzon, so that left us with a decent amount of fixing when we saw that, what was it, like pack 3, pick 1 Ureni. And I'm really happy I took that. I think this deck is way better for going on the full pivot towards kind of 5-color splashy towards Ureni, instead of having tried to stay just streamlined Obzon here. So that played out really, really well. I'm confident with that. So really happy with how I drafted. I think just a bit of user error in the And gameplay for sure. Some just monkey brain stuff there. I just completely forgot about the ability of the card that I was just talking about its ability when I made that block, and some other stuff like that that might have helped us survive long enough to try to stabilize. So 5-3 it is. Still an excellent record, and we're still leaving the event with plenty of prizes today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it and are interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.